kitchen. Come on in. Let's see what we got cooking. And I say good morning, I mean good morning. Look at the clock. It's 3:33 in the morning. What in the world are you doing up this early? Oh, something just fell in the background. That's all right. Today we're going to cook a butt. All right. And the reason we're up at 3:30 is because it's going to take about 12, 14 hours for this buddy to cook. So let's get it going. We're going to put it on the smoker here after probably 30, 45 minutes after we get it seasoned up. All right. What we're going to do, start with some yellow mustard on our butt. And the mustard is just for a binder. And that's to keep your seasoning intact while you're smoking. Because this is a long, slow process. A lot of it the seasoning will cook off, so that's why we're going to have a heavy seasoning on it here. All right, let's get this buddy all slathered up on both sides, all four sides, all around. On the end, we don't want to miss anywhere. Wherever we're going to put seasoning, we need some of the mustard on there. And we will have this recipe in with our other stuff. Stay with me, pull these gloves off. So, all right, got those in there. Now we can get to the seasoning. We can season this. As you can see, I'm putting this seasoning on heavy. We are using a boneless Boston butt today, or pork shoulder, for you guys that don't prefer to call them butts, but where I'm from, we call them butts. So, but it is. Let's flop him over. See, this is the fat side right here. This one has already been trimmed. Now, if you'd have bought this with the bone in it, it would not come trimmed as is, and you'd have a thicker layer of fat over the top. So, what you want to do is take some of that fat off. And when you're cooking, we're going to cook it fat side up. So as this fat renders, it's going to drop down through the meat, help tenderize it, and add moisture to it too. All right, lay this buddy open here. Like I said, this one has already been deboned. So when we get ready to pull this rascal after a while, we won't have to pull a bone out. All we have to do is just pull it. And probably what we'll do is make some type of slaw to go with this. And have pulled pork sandwiches, or you can just eat it by itself. You can eat it as just a protein with your meal, however you want to use it. So I think that looks pretty good right there. Let's check them all out. Let's get some right in that crevice right there. Like I said, you want to season it all up because it's going to be a long cooking process. And we'll check this thing throughout the day. Let me wash my hands up here real quick. Kind of our process, what we're going to do is we'll put the butt on, like I said, probably about 30 minutes. And we'll go out, we'll put it on the smoker. And we're going to smoke it probably 230, 235, something like that. And for the first 4 or 5 hours, we'll have smoke on it. Then we'll have a probe in it to see what the temp is. And we'll watch the temp. And as the temp goes up, when it hits about 160, 165, that's what's referred to as the stall when you're cooking a Boston butt. So we'll take it off then. We'll either wrap it in foil or we'll wrap it in peach butcher paper. And we'll put it back on, put a probe back in it, and cook it until it reaches about 202, 203 degrees. Take it off and let it rest for about an hour and cover it with towels. That'll continue the cooking process on it, and it should be ready to go. So we're gonna set this aside, let it sit a minute. We're gonna get a cup of Joe over here, drink a little coffee, sit, relax, and we will be back later. Welcome back, folks, to Burton's Kitchen. As you can see, we're outside. We're gonna put our butt on the smoker. We got our smoker set at 230. Take our probe, put it right through the thickest part of our meat. Let's make sure that it's in, not sticking through that. Go up just a little bit. There you go. Nope. Just make sure that your probe is not sticking out. That's the only thing about it. Okay. Yeah. All right, we're good now. Now then, we will put this little butt back in there. Make sure all of our wires are up here. Good. Not a glaze, nothing pinch. Lay him down. All right, we got 3 probes in here because it's actually is a new smoker that I think it's the 3rd time that we've used it. So what we're gonna take these gloves off before I make a big mess. All right, put in my pocket. All right, get our door closed. All right, that's sealed up. Like I said, this is the 3rd time we used it, so we're checking our temp to make sure that the temp on the smoker is correct. And we've got a probe at the top, the bottom, and one on our meat, and we looked at it. We got about a 6 or 7 degree difference between the top and the bottom, so pretty close. We're gonna put it on, let it start cooking, come back in about 2 or 3 hours, look at it, see how it's doing, then we'll go from there. Later. Welcome back to Burton's Kitchen, folks. We have been cooking now on our Boston butt for about 7 hours or so. We reached the internal temp of 160. It's known as the stall. So we're going to go ahead and take it out, bring it in, and wrap it in butcher paper. Go ahead and get it out of here. It is very hot. All right, here we go. And close this back real quick. Okay, folks, we're gonna wrap our Boston butt. You can see that we got a good bark on the outside of it here, and it does smell good. It looks like it's cooking very good inside. So let's go ahead and wrap it. And what we're using here is peach butcher paper. We'll wrap it up good and tight in this first paper. Cut this off. Another wrap here. This one we'll wrap, but not quite as tight. And what the paper does, it helps to keep in the moisture and all of your flavor. And this is going to go back on the grill or the smoker, probably another 3 to 4 hours. And we get back out there, we'll put the probe back in it. And that way we'll watch the temp. And when it comes up to about 202 degrees, we'll pull it off. Right, let's take it back outside. All right, we're back with our smoker. We're going to put it right back where it was. Let's see, set it in. We'll put our probe in here. Come on, probe, get in there. All right. Now we've got it. Close it back up. All right, it's set to go. We won't be adding smoke now because all we need now is the heat. So another 3 or 4 hours or so, we'll look at it again, see what it looks like, and go from there. Later. Welcome back to Burton's Kitchen, folks. We're outside with our Boston butt. We finally reached our cooking temp of 206 degrees. So we're going to take it out, take it inside, and let it rest for about an hour. Gloves on here. We'll get this Boston butt out of the smoker. All right, let's go inside with it. All right, we're back inside, folks. You know, on my recipe that you'll see in the comments that I have you put it in a ice chest. Well, I couldn't find my small ice chest. So I got to thinking, all right, what am I going to put this thing and let it rest in? Well, I had this thought come in my mind, which is crazy. Some of you I know think, why can't we put it in a crock pot, unplugged, because a crock pot is insulated. It'll hold the heat, and that's all that we need. So we're going to try that. All right, we're going to take it. We're going to leave it wrapped. We're going to sit it down inside this crock pot. We'll take a towel, put over the top of it, keep the heat in it. All right, get it all snug there, like snug as a bug in a rug. Put the lid on it, and let's let it sit for about an hour. Then we'll come back, and we'll see what it looks like. See you in about an hour. All right, welcome back, folks. Through the magic of filming and social media, hour is up, so we're going to go ahead and take our butt out and see how it looks. But I'll tell you what, let me put this back on. With my other 2 videos that I've made, I've always told a story about the South. Well, I'm going to try to keep that as a tradition. This story was told to me for the truth, but I'll let you decide on that. All right, there was this feller one time, lived down in Louisiana. Now, down in the South, let me tell you one thing here. We have mosquitoes down there that you will not believe. Now, down south, we call them skeeters. All right? And down there, if you have a can of Deep Woods Off or Neat or something like that, we call that skeeter dope. Well, go down there, you better have about 4 or 5 cans of skeeter dope if you're going to spend the night outside and you don't have something to keep the skeeters off of you. Well, all right, back to the story. This guy lived by himself in an old wooden house down there. And one night he was by himself, and he heard somebody talking on the front porch. And he said, ain't nobody supposed to be here. So he gets his 12 gauge pump shotgun, and he walks out on the door. He walks out the door on the front porch, and he looks, and he don't see nobody. But he hears somebody talking. So he takes another step down toward the end of the porch. And there was 2 skeeters down there. They were talking. They had a discussion going on. All right, are we going to keep him here and eat him, or are we going to take him back to the nest? Well, the fella was so scared, he forgot he had that 12 gauge pump him up shotgun with him, and he run back in the house and shut the door. Now, that's a story that's told in the South. It might be go along with the Mothman, or might go along with Bigfoot or Skinwalkers, whatever. But that's a song of the South, a story of the South. So there you go. All right, let's get back to our Boston butt. All right, let's see what it's going to look like. I got to get a pan here out of the oven. Let's pull this out. Let's see. Now this is right here. And this thing is going to be hotter than blue blazes. So I'm going to take a couple forks and we will unwrap it here. Let's get this out of the way so everybody can see our finished product. Now, what we're going to do tonight for supper is we're going to have this Boston butt, and hopefully it'll shred. It should, the way it feels. Oh yeah, feels like butter inside there. Oh man, that smells good. Looks good too. Look at the juice coming out of that, would you? All right, let me get him unwrapped here. I'm just going to tear that paper off of there. Let me tell you, folks. Now, if you can get right over in here, you see this juice inside here. Well, we're going to keep that because after we get this pulled, now, folks, you see how that's doing right there? That's how a pulled pork is supposed to do, all the way down. Now, if we'd had a bone in it, we could have just taken that bone, pulled it out, because it's completely done. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make sandwiches with it. I've made up a big bowl of coleslaw, put it in the refrigerator over there. So we'll have pulled pork sandwiches and coleslaw. But, of course, we got to take some of this juice. And once we get this pulled, we're going to put it in a bowl. And we'll pour all this excess juice in there with it. Let's give it a taste. Let's see. Get some of that juice in there. All right, like I said, folks, it's still hot, even though it's been off the smoker for an hour. That melts in your mouth like butter. Folks, I don't know where you from, where I'm from, that's good eating.